Hi everybody, welcome to Art Day. Today I'm having a crafting project that I enjoyed making so much. So my roommate is switching up universities, and there is a tradition in Germany that when you first go to school, like as a little kid, first grade, you get a school cone filled with school supplies and funny games and sometimes a few sweets. And I thought it would be a lot of fun to make him a little school cone because it's the first day of university. I wanted to do that last time when he went to university for the first time, but life got in the way and I didn't have time to make that school cone for him. So I thought, okay, so this time round I definitely have to do it. So I ordered a lovely Lego set and then started building the cone. I had checked before how big I had to go, and that size was pretty much perfect. So I did just cut out the shape of the cone, glued things together. Yes, it looks very messy here with the crafting glue, but that's no problem at all because there's going to be another layer on top of that, which will make those glue bits there pretty much invisible. And this is cardstock, the dark brown one, and the light brown one is crafting paper. So I had to have a little bit of a more sturdier peak of that cone down there to have everything in and have the school cone keep its shape. Even when I have all the Lego bits in there. So I did put them into each other and leveled those cones and then glued the two pieces together. And that's pretty much the base of the cone. It takes a little bit of adjusting and moving and gluing and holding till everything is done. And then I went for this decorative fabric for the top. Usually you use felt. I didn't have any, and I don't have a little kid at my house who gets that school cone. I have a grown adult man. So I thought, for one, the color would be great with brown and black. Very masculine. But also warm, and the black, yes, it is see-through, but it doesn't matter. It's not the same thing as it is with kids who have to go through the whole ceremony of being in school on their first day of school with that school cone and not being able to look into it just when they come home after the celebrations in the school. They are allowed to open the school cones, and if you can peek into them, that's not fun for a kid. It's harsh teasing, and that's not the case here. He gets his cone and can open it right away. He doesn't have to sit through his whole first day of university with a cone by his side. I'm not going to be that mean. So I thought that see-through kind of a black decorative fabric would work really well, and I'm gluing it to the paper cone with this dry kind of a paper glue. I didn't want to use the white crafting glue because that would have been a whole different kind of a mess. It was a mess anyways at this part, but I got to manage it. But yeah, he's not gonna have to sit through it. He's getting the school cone right away early in the morning. He can open it right away. He can see he's gonna be able to build a Lego set once he's back from university, and then I'm gonna send him off. So that's the difference between having a kid at home where you craft or fill a bought school cone. They're very common here. You can buy them in any sizes, shapes, different kinds of themes on them. There's also the possibility of you just decorating your own school cone. So yeah, there's a whole industry over here. But yeah, filling up the cone before I start decorating, because I use the crafting paper, and that is a little flimsy maybe. If you put on lots and lots of decorations, you have to be very careful and such, so I didn't want to deal with that, but filled up the cone beforehand, and I'm currently getting a ribbon, there it is, to hold that decorative fabric together. And now the cone is filled, and very much so. So it is a little easier for me to decorate. So I'm checking if I want those paper pieces to be like the border around those decorative fabric bits, because they were a little wonky and uneven, which I'm fine with, but I wanted to have a rather clean edge here and not losing the decorative fabric along the way. So I went with fabric tape here, just to have like a border, some kind of a trim on that cone, which makes it easier for one to make sure that everything's not falling apart in like 2 weeks, because I built that in very early September, and he's gonna go to university again 2nd of November, so this has to stay in shape until then and not fall apart, and the glue has to be okay and everything. So yeah, the fabric definitely helped with that, like that fabric tape with those yellow flowers. So at this point I got out all of my scraps from pattern papers and junk, magazine pictures and something, and I'm cutting flowers. So I'm making junk flowers here. They are quite bohemian looking, quite I don't know if there's, I want to say hipster, but it's not hipster, that's the wrong word, but they're quite organic, alternative, lovely, bohemian looking. In the end, I'm gonna art them up, don't worry. And they're a lovely thing to decorate something, and use up paper scraps. I do have quite a bit of scraps in my stash. I use that for mixed media things. My magazine journals, like painting things, doing 3D art, doing collages and such. So I have a huge amount of different kinds of papers or interesting scraps from magazines and such, or books, in my stash, and I like to use them for these kind of flowers too. I think they are not necessarily feminine looking, which I like a lot when you do a crafting project for a man who is, well, definitely masculine, but very much okay with the feminine as well. So I could, I didn't have to go for, say, sailboats, cars, planes, anything of like steampunk or anything. I didn't have to go with that theme. I could go for bohemian junk flowers, because he embraces his feminine side as well, which I like a lot. The whole school cone in the end is not gendered, but it is kind of gendered, because it is a lovely mixture of all that can be attributed as male. So bohemian style doesn't mean feminine. And I like that these junk flowers that I'm currently, by the way, arting up with white gel pen and black permanent marker, just doodling on the pattern papers and such, that you can make them your own, depending or change them in the way that they are definitely feminine or leaning towards what we perceive as the feminine, or that we perceive as masculine by using different kinds of patterns, different kinds of colors, shapes, all of that. I like that a lot, and in this particular cone I definitely went with I'd say it's a good mixture of both feminine and masculine. Just talking about the flowers here, not the cone itself. The cone itself I would definitely classify as more masculine. But I really like that you can do artwork or gifts for either men or women. It doesn't matter, kids, something, and give it a certain kind of a look that encompasses both masculine and feminine and doesn't go down that blue and pink kind of a gender color theme that you see so often in crafting, in any kind of gift presentation. I like to switch that up. I mean, I have pink apples in here. Go figure. That's masculine as well. Once I had all the blossoms cut and arted up, I did cut a little slit between two of the petals and then overlapped them, glued them together. You can see it particularly well on the big yellow blossom, and I glued two of those petals together, curling them beforehand just to make them lovely. And like that you have like a real shape of a blossom. It's not flat, it's 3D, and I like that a lot when it comes to decorating or crafting, where you definitely can go 3D. You can't always in a painting. Sometimes you can't go full 3D on a watercolor painting. I mean, you can, but does it fit? That's a different kind of a question. But with these crafting projects, where I can definitely work with 3D building of things and work a little more with shapes themselves, like in this regard, the longer, thinner kind of blossom or petal shapes versus the very round ones. I really like to work with that in 3D art. So I put all of the flowers together, decided how many I wanted to build, which petals worked best together, what I liked most. And then I glued them together, making sure that I had rotated the petals always just ever so slightly so that you can see all the layers. And you can see that is done rather fast. You have to wait a little bit with those glossy magazine papers that the glue gets a grip. But with a normal crafting paper, that's done so fast. And you can build them beforehand whenever you have a minute and you're not sure what you want to do, or you don't have the time to make a full art project. You can just cut petals or decorate petals or make flowers, and then you have them on stock whenever you want to use them. And I decided I wanted to have those little red pearls as a center, or those envelope kind of holders. I forgot what the name was. have them put in instead of those red pearls, because, well, red didn't fit with all the flowers. So I decided where I wanted to have which flower, and just glued them down. And I decided that I would have them all in one go down on one side of the school cone, because it's very easy for me when it comes to photographing things. And also, I think it's another thing that says adult school cone or university cone, not necessarily for a kid. But yeah, that pretty much ends the crafting project here. I hope you enjoyed it, got inspired. The blog post is up, so you can read up on all the materials I use, see high definition photos, and I'm gonna say thank you, and I'll see you in 2 weeks with the last video for this year for Art Day. Thanks for watching. Bye!